Hunting for Answers is a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network and iHeartRadio. Welcome to Hunting for Answers, a true crime podcast. I'm your host, Hunter, and today we're discussing a case that took place in Converse, Texas on December 6, 2023. This case shocked a community when a 22-year-old woman was gunned down in what police believe was a targeted attack. Nearly 20 bullets were fired into her car as she sat outside her family's home. This is the story of Khadija Derry. Khadija Ayana Derry was born on November 6, 2001 in San Antonio, Texas. By 2023, she was 22 years old, a young woman with her whole life ahead of her. Khadija was the kind of person who brought joy to everyone around her. She lived in Converse, Texas, which was a small city just outside of San Antonio. She was loved by her family and friends, but nothing could have prepared them for the horror that would unfold on that December evening. December 6, 2023. It was a Wednesday evening when Khadija Derry was sitting in her car outside the family's home on Arundel Garden. It was a quiet residential street, the kind of place where neighbors knew each other and children played safely in their yards. Suddenly, the calm evening was shattered by gunfire. A four-door vehicle pulled up near Khadija's car, and someone inside opened fire. What happened next was nothing short of execution-style violence. Khadija was shot more than a dozen times. Some reports say nearly 20 bullets struck her as she sat defenseless in her car. The attack was swift, brutal, and, according to police, targeted. This wasn't a random shooting or a robbery gone wrong. Someone had come to kill Khadija Derry. When the shooting stopped, the attackers fled, leaving behind a young woman's lifeless body and a family whose lives would never be the same. The investigation began immediately. Converse police knew they were dealing with something extraordinary. The sheer number of bullets fired and the targeted nature of the attack suggested that this was more than your typical homicide. Within months, the case had attracted the attention of federal authorities. The FBI and Secret Service joined the investigation, bringing additional resources and expertise to the case. But despite the high-level attention, the investigation proved to be more challenging than anyone expected. As days turned to weeks and the weeks turned into months, Khadija's family waited for answers. Her mother, Kuquanda Perkins, found herself living in a nightmare that seemed to have no end. "You would think at 90 days it gets easier," her mother said 3 months after her daughter's murder. "But for me, it has gotten worse." The family described the crime as hateful, believing their daughter had been specifically targeted. But by whom and why? The case began to gain national and even international attention. A Facebook group called Justice for Khadija Derry was created, drawing supporters from as far as the United Kingdom. People around the world were sharing Khadija's story, spreading awareness and demanding justice for a young woman whose life was tragically cut short. But despite the growing attention, police still had no arrests to announce. Then, after months of investigation, there was finally a breakthrough. Police arrested 19-year-old Joe Isaac Lee Yanez in connection with Khadija's murder. The arrest warrant revealed that police had recovered a 9mm gun and other items from Yanez's home. Finally, it seemed the family might get some answers. But this suspect's arrest would prove to be only the beginning of a very complex legal saga. In April 2024, 4 months after Khadija's murder, one of the 2 suspects in the case was killed. The circumstances of this death remain unclear, but it meant that half of the suspected perpetrators would never face justice. Meanwhile, the investigation continued. Police had identified that second suspect, a juvenile whose identity remained protected due to their age. This teenager was linked to a local gang known for armed robberies, narcotics trafficking, and homicides. In early May 2025, the juvenile suspect was arrested. Finally, it seemed like this time the family might actually see justice for Khadija's murder. But then, in a shocking turn of events, the teen suspect was released. According to reports, the case was not filed by a legal deadline, though the Bexar County District Attorney's Office disputed this claim. The family was left devastated. After waiting more than a year for justice, they watched as one of the suspected killers just walked free. On November 6, 2024, what would have been Khadija's 23rd birthday, her mother spoke to students and community members about losing a daughter to senseless gunfire. Kukwanda had become an advocate, turning her pain into something that really could help others. She spoke about the devastating impact of gun violence on families and communities. But even as she worked to prevent other families from experiencing her pain, the question still remained. Would her daughter's killers ever face justice? From Converse, Texas to the United Kingdom, people have refused to let Khadija's story be forgotten. Her family continues to hold on to hope, knowing that somewhere out there, people responsible for their daughter's death may still be free. My thoughts and prayers are with the family and friends of Khadija Derry. Today, her case remains partially unresolved. While some progress has been made in the investigation, the family's quest for complete justice still continues. Anyone with information about this case should contact the Converse Police Department investigation section. You can find their contact information in the description box below. As we close out this episode, don't forget to click the follow button to stay updated on Khadija's case and others like it. Be sure to subscribe to Hunting for Answers on YouTube and follow us on Instagram and TikTok for more true crime updates. And if you are watching us on YouTube, let us know your thoughts on this case down in the comments. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode. Until next time. Hunting for Answers is a production of the Black Effect Podcast Network. For more podcasts from the Black Effect Podcast Network, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.